Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. I'm Jessica Putnam-Phillips here at the Clayshare Studio, and woo, today has been quite a day in Clayshare land. You know, I started this morning thinking the biggest news that I would have to share with everybody was the fact that I'm debuting my brand new rolling pin and rim templates. I thought that's what it would be, but then I had a message from one of our Clayshare members letting me know that he is one of the contestants on the 2021 Great Pottery Throwdown. That's right, one of our Clayshare family, Lee Pollard, and Clayshare members is on the Great Pottery Throwdown. We are so excited. We are going to be cheering him on, so go Lee, Team Lee right here. Clayshare is going to support you 100%. So Lee has been learning from me for basically since before I started Clayshare, since I was just on YouTube. So those of you watching on YouTube, that's where I started, right? And then I started Clayshare.com, which is my website where I have hundreds of online pottery classes. So Lee took my classes and from that taught himself how to make pottery and is a contestant on the Great Pottery Throwdown. So yay, Lee! We are so proud of you. We are so excited. Lee said he would try to pop in and say hi. So I don't see him here yet, but when Lee pops in, we'll pause whatever's going on to wish him well. Now, my understanding is you can watch the Great Pottery Throwdown here in the US on HBO Max, and that I believe is on Sunday. It's the first episode airs Sunday, I believe. If anybody out there has all the details, go ahead and put it up for us because we want to share it with everyone. So we are really excited. I have been following the Great Pottery Throwdown since they started, and I'm super excited to have one of our Clayshare family. I'm so proud of him. I mean, this is what it's all about. This is why I started Clayshare. This is everything to me. This is having somebody who had the desire, they wanted to learn how to make pottery, and they didn't have a place to do it, and found Clayshare. Lee, you're here?
He's on the Clayshare side.
Hi, Lee. I see. Hi. Oh, well, sir, congratulations. You make me proud. Everybody calls me the Clayshare mama hen, but I definitely feel like the pottery mama, proud of my pottery child. You, sir, have made me so happy. You have filled my heart with joy. I have been smiling all day. You know, seeing you succeed is all I could ever hope for. I feel that way about all of my Clayshare members. That's why you are my Clayshare family. So for me, it's even better that you are achieving this than if I did it myself. Like this, I couldn't ask for anything more. You know, as a teacher, our goals, and I think this is true for all teachers out there, our goals are to have our students surpass us. We don't want you to be as good as us. We want to see you do more. We want to see you go further. And Lee, you're doing it. I'm so proud of you. And so I'll be watching, Kevin and I'll be watching on Sunday. Even if I have to go get an HBO subscription, if I don't have it, I will go get it to make sure I can watch and cheer you on. And everybody on Clayshare is going to be cheering you on too. So yay, Team Lee, right? So root for Lee because you know him now. Everybody out there, you know somebody who's on the Great Pottery Throwdown. So please support him. Follow Lee on Instagram. I posted earlier today about him. So go find him and follow him, support him, and cheer him on. And we're looking forward to seeing what you do in this whole season and everything else going on with you. We are so thrilled. So happy day, right? Happy day. There's nothing better than good news, right? And so there's definitely a lot of good news there. A lot of happiness and smiles happening. So that is the big news. I thought it would be my rolling pin and I thought it would be my rim templates. I was like, yeah, that's a big thing because I'd been planning this for weeks. And then I saw that from Lee and now I'm like, yeah, I got a rolling pin and some templates. No, they're still great. They're still great, but what Lee is doing is so much better. So that is huge and we are super excited for you, and thank you so much for letting me know because I had no idea that you were going to be on it, you know, so yay. So that's really good. I'll be having like some popcorn and sitting there and watching and cheering you on, or maybe I'll be in the studio making pots.
He's coming over to Facebook.
You're gonna come to Facebook? All right.
Well, you better stand by because there's lots of love.
There's lots of love on Facebook for Lee, I see. So Lee's gonna come on Facebook. Those of you on Facebook will probably inundate him with friend requests or follow him. You know, if he has an artist page, go follow him and check it out. So exciting. Yay, Team Lee. I see all the people supporting him. Congrats, Lee. Go Lee from Utah. Everybody is cheering Lee on. So know that you have supporters across the world there for you, Lee. So there's Lee right there on Facebook. Oh, you're welcome. So hang out with us if you want. You know, we are super excited, and I know this is going to be a fun adventure to see how it goes over the next period of weeks with you on there. I'm excited for it. I can't wait. All right, so after that, there's really nothing else.
Yep, we're done.
That's it. Broadcast over. No. I'm kidding. There's lots more to do. We're going to make some pots, right? But I want to give Lee lots of love and lots of congratulations because, you know, we all work very hard, and Lee has worked exceptionally hard because he got into the Great Pottery Throwdown. And I just want to, like, I don't know, I just want to be like the proud mama about it for a few minutes because it brings me so much joy and happiness. And I think it brings our members joy and happiness to know that he's part of our Clayshare family. So it's awesome. It's really awesome. All right, so we're definitely going to be cheering Lee on, and I will post more info on Sunday about the Great Pottery Throwdown when you can watch it. I'll find out all the details, and we'll be chatting about that, I think, Monday morning on Good Morning Clayshare. I'm pretty sure we'll be chatting about that on Monday morning since we're watching it on Sunday night. So, yeah, I know. That'll be the big news, won't it? So we've got a lot of other things going on. We had a new class come out this week. It's a plate making class, making the stacking nestable plates using my holiday lace rim template. So that's a really fun class. That's kind of part one for next week's class. We're gonna make mandalas, plate mandalas. So you need a plate to make them on, right? So that's the class for making the plate. Charlotte says, wow, I feel like I know a celebrity. Lee is now a clay celebrity. Yes. He is, and we all know him, so yeah, we could feel that way. Everybody's gonna want Lee's autograph or a muddy handprint, right, on a piece of a towel, like a studio towel, plop, right? That's what you would get. So that class with the mandalas next week. This week was a plate class. We have the Clayshare January Challenge for premium members. If you're a premium member, you can participate. You don't have to sign up or anything. It's already happening, so go check out the info on that on Clayshare. We have the Adam Field workshop starting next Saturday, the 16th and the 23rd. It's a two-parter, so there's 3 hours each Saturday. Next Wednesday, Adam will be joining me live for a little guest spot here on Live at 5 to talk about his workshop. If you don't know Adam Field's work, check him out. He is a wheel thrower, but he also is an amazing carver. So I have a piece of his. You can just see a little bit of his workmanship. And if you're following me or Clayshare on Instagram or Facebook, you will have seen some of his work and me promoting it. So if you want to learn from a master, check out the Adam Field workshop. The great thing about all of Clayshare's workshops are once you sign up for them, you get them forever. So you can watch them live when they happen, but then you can watch the replay a million times if you want, as much as you want. And premium members save 20%. So premium members, watch out. You get a code, check your email. What's going down? All right. So I see, all right. So we are, I'm trying to keep up with the comments. Muddy handprint on the shoulder. That would be the way to do it, right? So many comments coming in right now. It's very exciting. All right, so I think we're just gonna get to the rolling pin. So this is a rolling pin I designed last fall. I worked on it for a while. Took me a good chunk of time to get the design the way I wanted it, and so this was one of my hand-drawn designs. I think we should switch to the overhead for the folks so everybody can see it. Instagram folks, you just get the front view, but you can still see it. So I want to show this to you. It's called my Townscape rolling pin, and I don't know if anybody can guess, let me get the focus on that, what I was inspired by. I don't know if you can tell. Maybe if I hold it that way you can see the pin pattern. So it is exactly what it says it is. Let's see how close we can get on the overhead.
There you go.
Is that sharp?
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh, each one's different. So, I cannot tell you how many little buildings this is, but it's a little town with a ton of little buildings. I hand drew each little building. There's churches, there's businesses, there's schools, there's little apartment buildings, there's all kinds of things layered in here. And there's clock towers, the church steeples I've got there. There is like parking garages. There's all kinds of things. I had so much fun doing this, but I think I'm going to let you see if you can guess. Maybe if I show you it on a piece. Here's it on a piece that's not glazed yet. So you can see the pattern a bit. See if I can get the light on that so you guys can see it. I don't know if it's showing up. How is that? Can you see it?
Yeah.
So, you know, one of my favorite things to do when I am at home and I'm working out on my elliptical is I like to watch videos of people walking. And right now I love people walking around Tokyo, Japan. So this was sort of inspired by the city of Tokyo. It also is inspired by the great wave ukiyo-e print. So ukiyo-e is the floating world. It's Japanese prints. It's a whole genre of Japanese woodblock prints. And they...
Ooh, you're on focus.
I'm out of focus again?
Yeah.
And so this was inspired by that. So it's got a lot of inspiration. So we have the wave, right, of hills, rolling hills. But you also have waves that mimic the ocean. And then we have the city in there, but it's really more like a town because it's not a cold city, it's a warm place, it's very inviting. So this is the new rolling pin, it's called Townscape. And you will never see another one like it because nobody's done anything like this. It's completely something that I pulled out of my own brain. If anybody else does one, it's only because they saw mine. Ha! How's that? So I just claimed that rolling pin right there. Happens. I do rolling pins, people knock them off. And then here is a plate I did that's a rectangle. I love the buildings on a rectangle because it mimics the shape of a building. I am showing Instagram, folks.
Oh, okay. I forget about that one because I don't have it on my
Forget about
monitor.
Instagram. So this is just a regular rectangle form. Love this. Yeah, it's the ocean and it's rolling hills. It's I love it. Absolutely love it. And then this is my cloud. So this goes along with it. The cloud, the idea of the floating world. You know, everything I do has meaning behind it. There's a lot of conception, there's a lot of thought behind everything I do. And so when I make something, it's not just, oh, that's nice. It has a history. It has a reason behind it. So the clouds. So these are clouds, right? This shape here. So this is my cloud rim template. So we'll be using those to make some plates. The focus. I'll hit it again.
It just...
Is that a focus?
It's not
There we go.
following up and down.
And so these right here, these little plates, are the rim template we're gonna do. Oh, you see San Francisco? Yes, it can be though, because think about San Francisco. Think about how the city is on those hills, right? And you know, it totally relates. It can relate to like the Italian towns on the Riviera there that are like rolling along the hills at the ocean, right, where they drop off. So it doesn't have to mean one thing to anybody at all. It's how you interpret it. It's how you see it. And that's how the world is, right? It's how we interpret the things around us. So it can be whatever you want it to be. But this one is, it's the one that is the most unique of my rolling pins, I believe. And I put a lot into it. I think you will love it as well. And then this little guy, I did this on a bowl, so you can see it's a gentle little sloping bowl. So I did this on a drape mold. And this was one I made myself, have the class on it, teach you how to make your own drape or hump mold, whichever way you want to refer to it. It's fine. It is Wednesday, so hump day it is. Call it a hump mold on Wednesdays. But it's just a really sweet little bowl. I could have made it bigger. But tonight what we're going to do is we're going to roll this in some clay. We're going to make some pots with it. And then in my private broadcast for premium members, we're going to glaze some things. So we're going to do that. So let me move these out of the way. I got a sheet of clay here, so we can go ahead and we can make some pots. All right, so I have got a work board. This is my usual work board. It's 3/4 inch birch plywood. It has a coat of satin water-based polyurethane applied to it, which I sand down, put a second thin coat on, sand it again, and it's good. The reason I do the polyurethane is because this plywood will absorb the moisture and it'll start to buckle and warp over time, and you don't want that to happen. You want it to stay nice and smooth, and you want to get as much use out of it as possible. And you have to use a satin water base though. If you use an oil-based gloss, your clay is going to stick. So all of you who've been messaging me saying, I did it and it sticks, you got to use the satin water base. There's reasons why I tell y'all what to use, right? Because I've tried it and I have learned the hard way, and I'm trying to save you all the effort. Okay, so here we have, like magic, a slab out of nowhere. Here's a slab of clay I rolled out a little while ago. I would say I rolled it out about 4 o'clock, so about an hour ago. And then I covered it with plastic so that it would not dry out. So it's about as wet as it was when I first rolled it out. So it won't have become stiff at all. So where can you get my, oh wait, should I tell you where you can get my rolling pin and rim template? Yeah, that would be helpful. So I design them. Sharon Hoppy makes and sells them. I don't make them and sell them, I design them. So Sharon Hoppy, and her website is Sharon Hoppy Designs, and I think Kevin's gonna pop that up for those of you that you're interested if you're interested in getting it. Now Sharon runs her own company. It is completely separate from me. I have no control over her shipping policies or anything. I just want you all to be aware that I just design them. She basically licenses my designs from me. So if you are outside of the US, you'll have to ask her, but I don't think she's shipping right now. But check with her and see. She might be. So I'm gonna flip this over. See how I smoothed out the canvas texture? You know, you want to do that with your slabs because you want to smooth your surface out, especially if we're going to put a texture in it. You don't want to compete with this canvas. You also want to prep the clay by aligning the particles. That's what's happening when we're smoothing it out. We're also compressing the surface, which is going to make this clay less prone to cracking. So if you're ever working with slab pottery and you're getting a lot of cracking, try this. Try compressing it and see if it helps you. All right, I see folks are sharing links to things, helping people out. Awesome. You guys are the best. That's what I love the most about ClayShare is our community and how we all support each other and help each other. All right, so we've got a slab I've rolled out. It's about 3/16 of an inch thick. That's standard size for making dinnerware plates and platters. If I'm gonna make really big pieces, like big bowls or anything, I would go a little thicker than this. But for what we're gonna do tonight, this is perfect. Now, I get a lot of questions when I'm using rolling pins about getting nice even pressure and getting a really good impression. So there's a couple things you wanna think about when you're rolling out your texture, right? You want to make sure your clay isn't too hard. It needs to be soft enough to really press this rolling pin in and roll it out. If it's dry clay and you're not getting a good impression, try working with some fresher wet clay. So that's the number one thing I find with people who are struggling with getting a nice impression is that their clay is too dry. The other thing is, where are you in position to the clay slab? So if we look at this slab here and where I am, it's a little too high for me to get nice downward pressure. I need to get above it a little bit. I could do that either by having a lower counter to work on. This one's a little too high for me. Or I happen to keep a step stool back behind where I work so that I can just pop it out, step on it, and that way I can be above it. Now it is a little high. It's a little higher than I normally would use. Now, a couple things. Some people like to roll holding from the handles. Some like to roll from the barrel. It doesn't matter. It's just what you like the best. That's all. So all these tips are just kind of ways to get you started on this. If you find that something else works better for you, then you do that. That's all. That's my wisdom. If it works better for you, you do that. All right, we're gonna roll this in. I'm gonna zoom the folks. Oh, look at that, zoomed you right in. How close can you get? Are we focus?
You're in focus right now.
All right, we're gonna roll this in the clay, and you know, I'm gonna do the barrel, and I'm gonna try to get a really good impression. And I find sometimes walking the barrel does better. Now this is a 12-inch roller, and you might find that you have to put your hands in the middle and walk it, because sometimes that 12-inch is a little difficult to span. So if that's the case, just do what I did. Now, I don't know if the camera will pick it up. Let me zoom back out a bit. Hold on, folks. Sorry, I'm taking you for a ride. I'm gonna just roll the sides so you can see the difference. So I walked that. Now I'm gonna roll this. See, I got a little off at the edge, but that's me, not the rolling pin. Let's try this side. I'll do it over here. So this is a 12-inch long rolling pin. That I did perfect. Look at that. Sweet there. All right, it looks good. I'm happy with it. Wish I can't always say that. So let's zoom in close. Focus. How's that? All right. So I'm gonna, now that I've done that, I've kind of pressed the clay into my board. I need to release it. It's sticky, so we have to pull it up. And then you can make whatever you want at this point. You've got a slab with texture on it. So you can make a platter, you can make a mug, you could make plates, you could make little trinket dishes like I have here. Whatever, vases, lidded jars, teapots, anything. You can make anything from a slab. Wall planters, window box planters. You could make, I'm just looking around the studio, all the things we've made. You know, little luminary houses.
You want to come back to the front?
No, we're gonna go ahead and make the, now I'm just looking around. You know me. So let's move on to the rim templates. So these are something that I've been using for over a decade, but they weren't made this way. I've been using rim templates for well over 10 years, and I made my own out of cardboard. Sometimes I cut them out of masonite board. I would draw them and Kevin would cut them out of masonite board. And they were great, but they took a lot of work to make. So when Sharon and I started working together, she wanted to make some rim templates, and I was like, yes, because I have got ideas, surprisingly. And so this is my third design with Sharon that I've done. I have my Avalon and I have my Holiday Lace. So this is the third one, and that's the cloud one. And that's what we're gonna use tonight to make a plate. So Christine has a great idea. If you wanna line your designs up, you could mark it with a Sharpie and then roll it out so it creates a registration mark if you want to. I'm a big fan. I love the areas where patterns come together. I like that. I think that's the most interesting part about pottery is I like lots of different patterns and textures coming together. So we're gonna use, I think, this one here. And as you can see, the rim templates, they come in different sizes. You can get the set of 4, which is like the standard dinnerware set. And then they go up to really big sizes like chargers and platters and things. So you get whatever you think you're gonna be making the most of, you get the sizes accordingly. And then I like to use GR pottery forms. We'll go with this size right here. And GR pottery forms are just these really great forms, which is similar to a drape mold, right? And you see how they work? So when we press in, we get this as our rim, and this is the inside. So that's how we make plates. Does that make sense? So what is this one called? It is called, you have it on mute, so how can I tell you?
Say it and I'll type it.
It's called My Cloud.
They already answered.
Oh, there you
It's
go.
the cloud.
It's the cloud. Send it to the cloud. I'm so funny. I can say that about myself. So now the difficult part. Picking which area you want your plate to have, right? It's like, oh, do I want it here? Do I want it here? We're gonna go here, and we're gonna fix the focus because we need to zoom out a bit more. There we go. Let me get the focus on for you guys. There. So we have this, and we're gonna cut our shape out. Now you can use a needle tool, or you can use a clay knife to cut them. Right here. It's entirely up to you. The needle tool is really handy, and I do use it for some, like my lace, my holiday lace template. I like the needle tool. You have to watch the class to find out why. I'm not gonna tell you. I gotta keep some mystery going. But for this guy right here, I'm gonna use my Dolan 220S clay knife. You don't need to have the Dolan 220S clay knife to do this, not at all. But I'm telling you what it is so that you don't have to ask me.
Someone just asked.
And I told you. So Dolan, any place that sells Dolan tools will have this clay knife. They have a couple knives. They have the 220S and the 220C. The difference between them is the S has a straight handle and the C has a curved handle, which a lot of folks like because it fits in your palm. It's a little more ergonomic, but not me. I don't like it. I like the straight. I'm not sure why. I have to be difficult about it. It's just how I am. I like the straight one. Nothing wrong with the curved. It's just not my preference. So we've cut our slab, and now we're gonna pop it out onto a board. These are also from GR Pottery Forms. It came with their wah system. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know what they call it by itself. Maybe just a large bat. I should find out, right? That would be helpful. All right, so we have our slab. I'm gonna move this one out of the way. Here we go. There we have it. We've got what will be a plate. This is the makings of a plate, right? And look at that pattern. I'm pulling it up close so everybody can see. Is that in focus? For the, no?
No, we may be coming up on time to retire.
I don't want to buy a new camera. I'm buying a new house. I can't afford to buy a camera. For those of you who didn't know, I don't need to buy a camera. Might have to buy a camera.
You'll need to focus against it.
What?
The focus isn't following at all on that now.
The focus just says, I quit, Jess. I can't do anything about that. I just got to hand focus it. All right. I kind of want to zoom it in super close, though, for a sec, so I don't have to hold it up. That's all I get. That's it. I don't know if you can see. Look. Do you see the little, like, church right here? You see that? Do you see the clock tower there?
Do you want me to
right there?
on it?
No, I'm just letting, there's a museum here, right? There's a parking garage here. This is an apartment building. This right here is a gallery. I have a couple studios in here. This is a bank building. This is how it works. Everything is a thing. Like every building is a thing. And when I was designing it, I was drawing them and I had a little story in my head. Like, oh, this is where you'll go to pick up your laundry, or this is where you'll do your grocery shopping. So this is the thing that makes making things fun, is we tell ourselves little stories. We create little stories about what we're doing, right? So is not insanity. It's completely normal for creative people. I'm telling you all right now. So now I'm just gonna line up I'm using the 8-inch GR Pottery form on this. And I'm just spinning it around. I just guesstimate where it is. Now there's other ways to use these forms, and I know Sharon on her site demonstrates other ways to use them. This is how I do it, and this is how I've been doing it for over 10 years. And so far, in the last decade, it's worked. So I'm not changing. But you all can do it however you want. You get to pick. It's the beauty of everything. Okay, so once we have that, it's basically lined up. We're gonna flip it over. Just put another board on top. The liquor store, there is totally a liquor store. Why not? It could be a liquor store, and if you don't want it to be a liquor store, it can be a pet store. It's all up to you. Beauty salon, you know, you can have a cheese shop on there. You can have a bakery. Yeah, it's all there. Florist shop, because you got to get flowers. Y'all come live in...
Fly fishing shop?
Fly fishing. Come live in my town. I'm telling you. You want to be a part of this. This is your neighborhood.
Bait and tackle.
It's calling you. Kevin's in because there'll be a fishing shop. And it's, you know, got to be near water. All right, so we just flipped it over, and then this is the easiest part. I teach people how to make pottery that have never made pots before. They can make this. This is how we do it.
Oh yeah, there's a police department.
Well, yeah. There'll be a police department. There's a recruiter's office. Since we're veterans,
there's definitely a recruiter's
there's
office.
probably a National Guard in there, and probably Air Force Reserve, Marine Corps Reserve office. I mean, look. We're both military veterans, so we're going to have those in there. There's a donut shop because I'm going there. There's a bakery, but yet there's a donut shop because they're different, you see. You can't have just a bakery or just a donut shop. You need both. And a place to get a good cheeseburger. Like you need a diner. There's a diner. Like a nice, great, big cheeseburger. And you can get gluten-free buns that are as good as gluten buns there. It's my village. I'm making it that way.
Sign me up.
New name for the roller, Jess's Town. I know, maybe we should have called it Jess's Town. We can change it anytime we want. Sharon, is Sharon on?
Sharon is on.
Sharon, should we change it to Jess's Town? People who don't know who Jess is that go to buy the roller will be like, who's this Jess? Why do I want to go to her town? Well, you do want to go to her town. She's got
awesome cheeseburgers.
She's got awesome cheeseburgers, and everything's free in my town. Just so you know, you don't pay for those cheeseburgers. You just go get them. That's how it works. It's my town, after all. It's all free. All right, so I'm just compressing the clay, spinning it. It's on a banding wheel, and I'm just letting this lovely red rib do the work. And I compress it down. Look at that. And basically you made a plate. And you can leave it like this if you don't want a foot. If you don't know what a foot is, I'm going to show you. A foot is a little raised ring that you put on the back. See? Foot. That elevates your pottery. It lifts it up. And, you know, it's nice for many reasons, but you don't have to do one if you don't want to. You know, here's a little trinket dish. Right here. No foot. Here, foot. See the different profile? No foot. Foot. Gives you options. So if you leave your plates without feet, like this, footless plates, you could technically stack more in a cabinet. So if your cupboards are overflowing with pottery, you know, when we stack them and they have feet, see we have a little gap here? See how we have a gap between the two plates? See that? Well, if you don't have feet, now these are trinket dishes, they're not really meant to stack, but do you see how we really don't have a gap? They're kind of right up against each other. So that there would be your difference. So you don't have to put feet on them if you don't want to. I'm a foot girl. We could almost say I have a foot fetish for pottery. It's a pottery foot fetish, so it's okay. It's not a creepy kind of, you know, but I'm not trying to judge. Look. People can have whatever they want, but in pottery, I like feet. I like feet, so we're gonna put some feet. And I have got the rest of the clay right here that I rolled out. Remember, I had that big piece. See, I'm scooching it in here on the side. It's over there. Name it Jess's Town for sure. It can be Jess's Town. Sharon, what do you think? Do you want to call it Jess's Town? I need Sharon to confirm that. If so, I'm fine with Jess's Town. People who don't know me might be like, what's this Jess's Town? Well, it's the best town ever, obviously. And there's potters all over. Every street has got a couple potters on it. Yes, a clay supplier. You know, get your clay at one little shop, get your glaze at another. We'll all be hanging out together, making pots, going to the community clay center. There'll be an art gallery where we can show our pots. There'll be little shops where we can sell our pots. I mean, we could just go on and tell ourselves stories for days about what we're gonna do here in this town. Gonna do it all. It makes me feel like, do you all remember the show from, might have been the 60s, That Girl? Was it That Girl? And she goes to the city, and she's in the city, and it's like the first time she's there, and she's like spinning, and she's holding her hat, and she's so happy to be in that city. I feel like that. Like that'd be my town. All right, so I have this thing called a foot maker. It's a free class. Learn how to make one yourself. I use it all the time. It's just a corn on the cob holder that I've modified It's not anything like earth-shattering, but it might change your life as far as pottery making goes. If you want to go to Jess's Town, we can do that. It goes with Jess's Bees. All right, let's do Jess's Town. It sounds a little nicer than Townscape. Jess's Town, we'll do that. So I'm just going to drag this through the clay. And I'm going to do it like this. Because by doing it at that angle, it looks cool. But also I'll get enough clay to make my foot plan. So you cut your strip. Now if you don't have a foot maker right now and you're like, I need to make a foot, but I don't have a foot maker, I got something. Hold on. You might have a little wooden strip floating around. I use these as thickness strips for rolling out slabs. You can get them at your home supply store or lumber yard. This one's 1/4 inch by 3/4 of an inch by 24 inches. It's this one right here. And you just use the 1/4 inch bit and you just lay it on your clay and cut on either side. And now you've made a lovely strip, which you can use as a foot. The thing about the corn cob foot maker is it's tapered. You see, one end is thicker, and you put your thicker end up against your plate. Yeah, I like the taper, but if you don't have to go with it. You looked for corn holders, and they're all uneven. Yeah, so Judy, I cut them in the class. You didn't watch the class. Now I know. No, I don't care. But if the class is free, go watch it. I show you how to do it. You clip it or file it. I think I do both. I show you both ways of doing it. The clippers, you got to have a really strong grip to clip them, or somebody who can grip it for you. The file's nice because you can just grind it down. Just rub, and file it down. Those classes are always fun when I do stuff that's not really pottery making, where it's kind of like tool making, which is not my forte. So I'm slipping and scoring while I'm chatting. I'm using slip, which I've made with magic water. Magic water is water with sodium silicate and with soda ash and sodium silicate added to it, which are deflocculants, which help prevent cracking. So if you want that recipe, go to clayshareresources.com. Under recipes, you can make your own magic water. I just take the magic water and whatever clay I'm using, I put little scraps of that clay in, and I use that. And what happens is magic water basically is creating almost like a glaze. It creates like a fusion in a way. And so that's why it helps prevent cracking. It gives you a little better bond. Now some people will use just straight water and clay for slip. That works too. Some people use vinegar. Vinegar does 0. I don't think vinegar makes a difference at all. I haven't seen the science behind vinegar. Is it a deflocculant? I don't think vinegar is a deflocculant, and that's what we're looking for. You know, something that will help prevent cracking. Okay, so we've got a little overlap. We're going to cut through both layers here with our 220S Dolan knife, or whatever you got. And then slip and score our seam. Now you all have probably seen me make plates so many times. I've made plates so many times. I've seen myself make them so many times. I love making plates and platters. I get asked a lot what my favorite form is to make, and it would be a platter or a plate. I love it. I love these forms because I really love surface. I love surface decoration more than anything, and these are the forms that give me the most surface to decorate. I like vases as well for decorating when I'm wheel throwing though, but for hand building, plates and platters. The vinegar melts the clay and it stinks. Yeah, and I think it is working a bit, but I don't think it works as well. But I had a question this last week. Someone wanted to know really the difference, like the scientific approach behind that. And so I think I'm going to do some more research, and I will come back for you all with that after I've gotten all the facts, all the science stuff, so that we can share it. Sometimes when you have that little join here on the foot where the two bits come together, sometimes you'll have a little bit of a divot. That ever happen to you? Sometimes happens to me. So what I do is I take a little bit of clay, I just lay it on there, smooth it out with a damp sponge. Then I take my red rib and just smooth over that seam. No more divot, no more worry about uneven foot ring. So Lisa, you bought some #1 pottery plaster yesterday after watching my class on making, oh yeah, making a damp box and how to calculate how much you need. And your local shop sells it by the pound. That is great. That is great because I buy it and I get 50 pounds of plaster. That's a lot of plaster. Yeah, it's a lot of damp boxes, which you might use. But yes, in my damp box class, we have plaster math. There's a part of it where we talk about plaster math because we might not like math, but as potters, you cannot get away from math. It's there. But the thing is we're the boss of math, and we tell math what we want, and it does what we want because that's how math works. You put numbers in, and the answer is always the same. So I kind of like that about math. So you notice how I'm just rounding over the edge here, smoothing everything out. You know, nice smooth bottom. We talk about smooth bottoms. Can't help it. It's a part of pottery. Nobody wants a bottom that's not smooth. Nobody wants a rough, scratchy bottom. Everyone wants a nice, smooth bottom. It's a foot, technically, so it's a smooth foot. We want those too, right? Give your pot a pedicure. Nice, smooth foot. This right here is a color shaper. They sometimes are selling them as clay shapers now. It's just a little silicone tip. I like to call it the rubber tip tool. I don't know why. Silicone, but it makes me happy, so I do that. All right, so that's our foot. That's the foot. That's it. So what we do is we let this set overnight or about 6 hours, depending on where your studio is and how humid it is in your studio. And then we're going to flip the whole thing over. When we do that, we'll remove that GR pottery form. We'll smooth this edge, just like, do you see how I was doing this to the foot ring? We do that on the edge. And I show you in my holiday lace class, the stacking, actually we call it nesting plate class. I show you how to do that, the flipping out part, so you get all that there. But basically, at the end of the day, let me set this to the side, what you get is this plate right here. The magic, it's the magic of preparing ahead of time, really. You get that. So this right here, this one here, believe it or not, is going to shrink down to this size right there. And that's what you're going to get. I know. I see all of you like, uh-oh, smooth bottom time. Yeah, I know. We talk about it. It happens. It's a thing.
We should have a disclaimer that comes on at the beginning if
we
you've
do
had
need
caffeine before broadcast.
Oh, can people... I did have... All right, so I don't always have caffeine at the end of the day, but some days I do. And today definitely was one of those days. And you can tell. I'm just really excited too because of Lee being on the Great Pottery Throwdown, and I'm excited about the new rolling pin and rim templates. So we got some clay left, and I feel like it would be wrong to just not do something with it. So I'm gonna cut some of it off right here, and I think we'll make a pressed plate or two. We got a few more minutes. We got a couple minutes. I can totally do that. All right, so press plates. These are going to be pressed trinket dishes. Really simple little things. You know, these are great because if you don't have access to a kiln and you're going to use air dry clay, you can make these and use them as trinket dishes. Just don't use them for food. Like, they're a great place to put rings or earrings, or just sit there and look cute with a votive candle in it or something. You know, it's just sweet little things. So I have a cookie cutter that I got, I believe, from Michael's, which is a craft store here in the US. It was a set of 3. Let me measure it for you to give you the dimensions, because I know someone's going to ask. This is 4.5 inches by 3 and we'll just say a half, although it's a little bigger than that. Doesn't matter. The point is you use a cookie cutter, because you can. Just line it up where you like the pattern. This is the hard part. Picking where to line up your cookie cutter. Like, do we go down here? Do we get more of the, oh, I like that. We're getting more of an angle. Usually I like to end with the cityscape though. Oh, see, decisions. Pottery decisions. That's nice too. Mm-hmm. We're going this way. So you cut it out. Cut it out. And then we've got this much clay left. I'll wedge this up and roll it out, and then I will add more texture to it and have no waste. I'll just keep making plates till this is gone. If I have a teeny bit left, I'll put it back in the bag and use it the next time. So we got this. I've got some. Oh, I got some other clay. I think I'm gonna grab this too, because it seems like a shame to only do one little press plate. You can use any size or shape cookie cutter. I actually did some that the cookie cutter itself is a mason jar, and I thought the mason jar was really cute for, I don't know if that'll focus on that, but I thought the mason jar was really cute for the cityscape for Jess's town. So you can go vertical, you can go horizontal. We're gonna go here with this one. And what I love about these little guys is you can use them as glaze tests too. So if you aren't sure about a glaze, these are great because they have texture on it, so you'll see how your glaze reacts to texture, and you get to judge it for that, and also you get to see if you even like that glaze. Okay, so we have our little cookie cutter shapes. Now, normally I would roll this a little thinner for these smaller dishes. We don't need them this thick. You don't need it. But it was already done, so I went with it. Then you take a piece of foam right here. This happens to be an old foam pillow. Memory foam pillow was this one. So I'll use anything in my studio if I can get a hold of it. You can see it got cut down to size. You have a mason jar cutter you've never used, Diana. Well, guess what? Now you need to use it. Exactly. And so to press it, I'm using a little bisque presser. I call them pressers because we're pressing it into clay that I made myself. I just cut out a circle, attached a handle to it, and woohoo, I made a presser. And you line it up, and then you just press straight down, give it a little wiggle, and then we transfer it to our board. We'll just put it here. And that's it. You've made a trinket dish. Now, one thing I just want to share with you all, if you're noticing that you're making these dishes this way, or anything you're making, if you're noticing a lot of warping, make sure your clay is not too thin. With hand building, you honestly want to make your clay a tiny bit thicker because it's more prone to warping the thinner it is. People don't know that, but extra super thin pots, they won't always warp, but they are more prone to it. And so we still have the texture of the cityscape in here. So you can still see the buildings. Let's see if I can bring this up, if it'll stay, if it'll focus. How's that? So you can see those little buildings. Cute they are in there. So you just, all your scrap clay, you can make a whole bunch of these guys, like I do, so that I have them to test them out before I glaze. So before I glaze this plate, that my square one, we can come back to the front. So this one right here, my square, it's a big-ish plate. It's not a huge plate, but it's a good size plate. So before I use my glaze on this and potentially glaze it with a glaze I don't like and use up glaze on something this large, I do the little tests because it's a tiny little thing. You just glaze it, put it in the kiln. If you like it, bingo, you go ahead and you do your bigger one. If I glaze this with a glaze I hate, I won't really like my piece anymore. I'd rather glaze this with a glaze and find out on this that I'm not happy with it than on this, right? So I always tell people, test, test, test. If you see somebody who's done something that you love online and you're like, I love that glaze combo, I want to try it, but please try it on something small first, not something you spent weeks working on, because you might not get results like they did. Just because their image looks a certain way doesn't mean yours will turn out that way. That's just how it is. Now, I know we didn't make square plates, but I want to give you all a little hint. sometimes when you get larger plates, like with larger surface areas, you can get slumping or sagging in the middle. So I like to put a bar or another foot on the inside, so it's a double foot ring. These are squared foots, but I like to do the bar. Sometimes I'll do a plus, you know, just for fun if I feel up to it, but you only need the bar. You don't need the whole thing. So what form did I use for the square? This is GR Pottery Forms. They have the square set. So I have GR Pottery Forms in round. So here's a round form. I have it in hexagons, I have them in squares, I have them in rectangles, and you get them from grpotteryforms.com. And if you use the code ClayShare, you save 10%. You can, Kevin's going to check it. You can also get the GR Pottery Forms from Clayscapes Pottery and use the code EXPLORE10 and save 10% too. So if you're planning on buying glazes or something else, you can just get them from Clayscapes, use the EXPLORE10 code, save, and get everything. It's like a one-stop shop. You don't have to go to like 4 different places. You can just get it all at one. So everybody Instagram knows now, and everybody else knows. Now you guys know. So I like the squares a lot. Some of my favorite shapes are the hexagons, but for this, I love this. Now I do have a form of Sharon's I didn't have time to work with, but she sent me this gorgeous form right here, which I think would be amazing. And so Sharon sells forms as well, and her forms, like this one, it's not just a simple shape, it's a really pretty decorative shape, and I think that could be really nice. And she has a rim template that matches it, so it's a set right here. I have not tried this one yet, but I don't know, if we don't glaze in the private broadcast that's coming up next, maybe we'll play with this. We'll see. We'll see what I do. But this is a really great one as well, and I haven't had a chance to use it. All right. So I think, did we go over everything? We did. We've got Lee on the Great Pottery Throwdown. Congratulations, Lee. I'm so happy for you and proud of you. I just can't even. Sunday is going to be a day I won't be able to sit still, because I'm going to be so excited for seeing it. And I know the rest of us will be too. Got the new rolling pin that's out now, and the cloud rim templates. Jess's Town, we're going to call it Jess's Town. Adam Field's workshop. Mandala class, mandala plate class next week. What else is happening? So what colored glazes are the 2 teal blue plates in the background? Well, let me just tell you. This right here is my Oribe and Shadow Blue, but I sprayed them on. So if you ever want to learn how to spray on glazes, well, sign up for ClayShare, because you get this and hundreds of other classes. Plus we have a 7-day free trial. I didn't really go over the workshop deal, but you know what? We do 20% off premium members for workshops. So here's the thing. If you sign up for a 1-month membership of ClayShare, you get that discount. So what's 20% off $90?
18.
$18. So,
72.
okay. So here's the deal. If you want to take Adam Field's workshop and basically get a free month of ClayShare and save, you sign up as a premium member of ClayShare. And then you sign up for Adam's workshop, because you're going to save 20% off Adam's workshop, which is $18, which is basically a month of ClayShare. You could get 2 months of ClayShare and Adam's workshop. So if you want to take Adam's workshop, sign up as a premium member first, then sign up for his workshop, and you basically get 2 months of ClayShare for the same price as if you just signed up for Adam's workshop. I'm just telling you. So anyhow, you get this class right here, how to spray on glaze. So I show how to do this. The plate next to it is my Oribe right here with my holiday lace. And we just went ahead and made this last week. We just made this class, made this plate. And then the one on the end is my fern lace platter there. Fern platter, not lace. And I have a class for that as well. Alrighty. All right, Charlotte wants to know what kind of grog to use 1,000,000 times for your platters not to warp. So when you're firing large platters, kind of like the one behind me, or large plates like that large one I just showed, you can sometimes get warping and cracking on your shelves because the clay needs to be able to move, and sometimes sitting flat on the shelf, it's hard. for it to have the movement, right? So some people will use a medium to fine grog on their kiln shelf. Some people will use aluminum hydrate. Some people will use silica sand. Entirely up to you. Currently, I think I'm using alumina hydrate, but when I do really big things, I use fine grog. But you could also use medium grog, and you just do a very thin layer on your shelf. And in a class, I show how to do that, but I can't remember what one it is. Maybe it's one of the Making a Big Platter classes. I have to find that out for you and get back to you. There's a class. There's a class. I love you guys for replying to that. Yeah, if you have a question about making something in clay, go search for it on ClayShare. There might be a class. I've got 300 full-length classes, and with the live broadcasts and all the little videos, there's hundreds more. There's so much stuff. Plus all the, there's so much content. It's crazy, but it's good. It's the crazy good. All right, I think that's everything for tonight. So I hope you all have a fabulous rest of your week. Now, we're going to be having our private broadcast for premium members coming up next. Monday morning, we have our private broadcast for our premium members as well. So that's our Good Morning ClayShare. And then next Wednesday, our live broadcast for everybody, our public broadcast, is going to be with Adam Field. He's going to be joining me. And that's going to be super fun. You won't want to miss that. So mark your calendars, 5 p.m. Eastern Time next Wednesday. Tune in. Still up in the air about a kiln opening Sunday. Sunday I might have a kiln opening. It's still up in the air though, because I don't know if I can get it glazed. I can't do everything, but I'm working on it. All right, I think that's everything tonight. You guys have a fabulous evening. Lee, congratulations. I am so proud of you. I am so happy for you. I can't wait to see you on the Great Pottery Throwdown. We're all rooting for you. So Team Lee right here. I need hashtag Team Lee. I need a t-shirt that says Team Lee. That says ClayShare and then Team Lee under it. I'm going to see what I can do about that. All right, everyone. Take care. Have a great week. I'll see you later.